Hi, I'm Mark Jennings, and congratulations and well done on downloading your Profit Increase Maximiser. Be sure to watch this video all the way through to the end. I'm going to take you through how best to use the Maximiser so that you fully understand that if used well and consistently in your business, then without doubt you are going to see significant increases in your bottom line. And just so you know, this is a methodology that I've used over the course of the last 10 or 12 years with all of my clients. It forms the backbone of the coaching that I use with them, and it allows us to focus on key areas that we can work on, reduces the overwhelm for them, and produces extraordinary results majority of the time. The great thing is that whatever problems or issues you think you've got right now, most of my clients have probably been through very similar, and this has been a tool that has helped them come through that and kept them focused on getting them to wherever it is they want to be getting to in their business, hitting their business goals, which ultimately helps them achieve their personal goals. So what you're seeing here, if you've got your Maximiser now printed out or you're looking at it on screen, you can see that there's 5 areas in blue. So I'll refer to these as the 5 ways. And this is how I break it down. So if we're talking about setting significant goals, bottom line goals, 50, 60, 70% increases on the bottom line over the course of perhaps 12 months, that might seem somewhat overwhelming at the start. So what we do is we break it down into bite-sized chunks, and we use this tool to allow us to do that. So I'm going to take you through top to bottom, step at a time, so that you can understand how it works and also be thinking about how you can apply that into your business. I'm going to use some numbers here that are just generic numbers, perhaps of a small SME style business. It's the principle of what I'm doing here that demonstrates how it works. You can take your own numbers and plug them in and do exactly the same exercise on your own business, so you can see the results for your own business. So let's start at the top. First off, it's how are you managing your lead generation? So what marketing strategies do you have in place currently that are bringing in the leads into your business? So you need to have a think about that. So in this case, this example, we're going to say there's 4,000 leads over this particular period, let's call it 12 months, that are brought into this business through their existing marketing processes. And then we start to look at the conversion rate. You know, what's the percentage conversion rate for those leads that then come into the business? Very rarely have I found clients, when I first start talking to them, that are testing and measuring this thoroughly. They generally overestimate where their conversion rates are. And it's such a critical area, a critical part of their sales process. So again, in this example, let's assume that there's a 25% rate of conversion of those leads. So it doesn't really take a maths wizard too much to calculate that we've got 1,000 customers in this particular example. And then next we would look at, on average, out of those 1,000 customers, on average, how much are they spending with you? And I appreciate some will spend a little, some will spend more. For the purposes of this exercise, we'll just average it out. You can use this for breaking down individual revenue streams or maybe product streams that are coming into your business. In this example, I'm just using it as a total overview for the business. So let's say on average, they're spending £200. Okay? And how often will they spend the £200 with you? So is it a repeat business? If it's newspapers, you'd be selling one every day. If it's battleships, you're selling one every 5 or 6 years. So you need to kind of figure out how often your clients are spending with you over the course of the year. And on this example, we'll just say twice a year they come in. So if we do the maths, we've got 1,000 customers, each spending £200 twice a year. Then again, we can quickly see we've got around £400,000 worth of revenue coming into the business based on this particular example. And then we look at the margins, bottom line, top line, overheads, costs of sale, all those areas that are taking money out of the business. We would start to review and understand exactly what it was. Again, for the sake of the example, we'll call it 25%. And therefore, we can see that bottom line, this particular example, would be taking about £100,000 profit. So that's just establishing the current state of the business. You can do this with your own numbers, put your own numbers into this, into the Maximiser to see exactly where you are and get your current state. So then the real magic happens when we then start to look at what can we do in order to significantly increase this bottom line figure. And rather than looking at it as a big exercise, perhaps an overwhelming exercise, we just break it down and say, well, if we were able to influence each area just by 10%, what might this look like? So when we examine marketing, so we'd have a look at exactly what marketing activity is going on right now with regards to lead generation. So have you got a marketing team? What sort of marketing are you applying? Is it networking that you do? Is it your website? Are you looking at Google AdWords? Are we doing Facebook advertising? Is it word of mouth? Is it repeat business, referrals? All of these different marketing strategies may or may not be active in your business. But we'd look at what you have got. We'd measure exactly what leads each one of those was bringing in and how effective it was. And then we'd identify out of probably 80 or 90 other strategies that we've got at hand, what could we do potentially that we believed would bring just 10% more into the business. Once we'd identified it, we can nail our mast to the tree, if you like, and say, right, well, based on these strategies, these ideas, we believe we could get an extra 10% into the business. So we'll get 4,400 leads next time as a result of doing these one or two new things. And it may be that we stop doing some of the old things that aren't working once we start to look at the numbers. And then we look at sales. How well are your sales team converting those leads? We've spent money, time, effort and money on getting those leads into the business. And at what rate are we converting them into clients? In my 10 or 12 years experience working with business owners, I've rarely met anyone who's really testing and measuring this accurately. And in the main, they tend to overestimate the number. So they think they're converting at a higher rate than they actually are. But once we start to look at it, step one, test and measure. What actually is the conversion rate first? So let's not just guess. And once we know, again, start to look at the things that we've got in place that make that conversion happen. Do we have sales scripts in place for the team? Does everybody know how to answer the phone effectively? How many steps has your sales process got in it? What sort of collateral are you sharing with those leads once you've made that connection? Are you sending them emails? Are you sending them any kind of brochures? Are you guiding them to websites? Showing them links of your testimonials and what your customers are saying about you? Have you got any videos that you can share with them, etc., etc.? So what is your sales process? Have you even got a sales process, or are you leaving it to potluck? We'd look at that. For sure, again, out of 70 or 80 different strategies that we've got at hand, we would identify one or two that we believed would give us a 10% increase on our sales conversion. Once we knew what it was accurately, we will start to do something that's going to increase that particular number. And that will take us to something like 1,200 or just over 1,200 customers, just by focusing on those two areas alone. Then we start to look at average spend. So again, this may be an opportunity for you to actually do some number crunching, start to look at the numbers you've got in the system, and establish an accurate number around, on average, what are your clients spending with you? And So I'll then challenge my clients on price increases. When was the last time you put a price increase on your products and services? What about the opportunities to upsell? So have you got opportunities there to add on, to do bundles, to include other products or services that are in line with the ones that you're selling currently? Are your sales team briefed on upselling, and have they got targets to do so? So it's really having to think about what are all the opportunities that you've got at hand in your business that you can add in, bolt on, or simply price increase to get this average spend up. Set ourselves a target, 10% increase, £220 on average over that time frame. And then we look at how often the clients will spend with us. Relatively straightforward exercise to do. If you've got a reasonable accounting system, you can go in, look at invoices, the frequency of customer purchases. If you're a news agent selling papers, it's a daily sale. If you're selling battleships, it's probably one every 10 years or something in between. But once we've established the number of spends, we can look at ways of keeping connected with those clients, utilizing your CRM system. Have you got a CRM system? Do you know what a CRM system is? How well are you keeping connected to those clients and informing them of what's going on in the business? Offers, events, deals. Are you looking at membership schemes, lateral loyalty? All of these are things that we can look at and as a strategy implement into the business. And we'll say perhaps just a 10% increase, get them spending with you 2.2 times a year on average. And we can see then that will give us an increase of something like 585,000 in revenue. So significantly, we can see now we're only working in 4 areas. And then finally, we'd look at the margins. So I take them through top to bottom, looking at areas that impact the cost of sale, supplier negotiations. Are there opportunities to do bulk purchasing, economies of scale, renegotiate with suppliers if your business is on the increase and you've perhaps been buying more products from suppliers but not revisited the discounts that you're being offered. Equally going through the overheads, line by line by line. When was the last time you negotiated your insurances or your rents and rates, car lease figures, mobile phones, all of those overheads that you've got down in your accounts that just take money away from the bottom line? We'd look at that, set ourselves a target, and if we could affect that by just 10%, then we can see we've got a margin now at 27.5%. And if we add all of these up, so we've now got 1,210 clients spending £220, 2.2 times a year, gives us 585k, and we're seeing a 27.5% margin. We'll get 161k net profit, there or thereabouts. That's a 61% increase. Now, if at the start I'd have said, let's try and go for a 61% increase on your bottom line this year, I can see that the clients just freeze. Their eyes glaze over because what appears to be a sizable, impossible task will overwhelm them. So by breaking it down into bite-sized chunks, measuring, testing each area as we go, targeting just 10% in each of those areas, perhaps delegating this to the team. So your sales team, 10% increase this year, guys. Marketing team, 10% increase this year. And just breaking it down into bite-sized chunks, we can see we've got a 61% increase on the bottom line. It may be you can deliver more in each of these areas. It may be that you've been really poor at sales, and we can see a 20 or 30% increase in the conversion rate. But just for this example, you can see 61%. It gets really exciting when we compound this and roll this forward and put 61% onto year 2, 61% onto year 3, and you can start to see how that bottom line profit grows. I use this method all the time with my clients. It's a tool that I use. It helps to demystify a lot of the effort that's going into helping increase the business. So if you're really serious about wanting to grow your business and increasing your bottom line, then please just give me a call, get in touch. Click on the link, call my number, set an appointment, and we'll have a no obligation chat, and hopefully we can start something exciting together to move your business forward. So that's Mark Jennings with Action Coach, and hopefully I will speak to you soon.